And here we come to our to the content of, for now, stopping history and going a little systematic. Now, I don't know how much we can do here, but I want you to get the grasp of some words and concepts that are important for our thinking. Whether you are a philosopher or you are not a philosopher, children, everybody should learn to think coherently, logically, without contradicting themselves. Without saying A and then saying not A, just say taking it back. You cannot take it back. You have to, you have to develop arguments. Philosophy is not just ideas; it's arguments. Not only in philosophy do we have arguments. We have arguments in politics, in science, everywhere. And logicians, these philosophers who study logic and make it mathematical later, study arguments. Okay. So what is an argument? A series of propositions called premises with one S or two S, related in a way which allows us to derive or infer or come to a conclusion.
Propositions and conclusions are formulated as statements.
Yes.
Propositions are statements about the world.
Yes.
Important.
And they are presented, there are three words: proposition, statement, sentence. These are three words that you can use. Never mind the exact differences. I mean, this is a philosophical problem. In philosophy of language, we examine how we use the word proposition, statement, sentence. Call them what you like. But if you have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you may say therefore, then, so, there are some words that connect, we come to a conclusion. All men are mortal, Socrates is a man, therefore, we will say Socrates is mortal. Okay, so this is a kind of typical argument. Now,
shall you write it on the
well, we have, or you need the example. I have examples coming up. You don't have to write. I have example. I'm giving the terms first, and then I'll give the example.
Ask a question about the word derive.
Derive, okay,
Infer,
or infer. It means take out of.
leading to.
Follows from. But I derive a conclusion. I get it out. I get it out. The technical term in logic is infer. You'll find the word inference or logical inference. Okay, that's the word. So we infer the conclusion from the premises. So it's like a mechanism. You have a kind of mechanism from which you derive, from the what is above to what is comes down. Now, there are arguments in which the conclusion follows with logical necessity from the premises. I'll explain all this. I mean, don't worry, we'll get the examples next slide. When the argument is valid, I'll explain what it means to when I'm valid. An inductive argument, one in which the conclusion doesn't follow with necessity from the premises, but only with probability. You understand probability. To give you an example of an inductive argument, because I have not written examples, I have watched swans, the bird swans, and all the swans I have watched 1,000 swans, and they were all white. So my conclusion, the conclusion that I infer, is that the next one will be white, and that all swans are white. Is it true? No, because it's only probable. There's no necessity. And sure enough, I go to Australia and I find a black swan. Okay, black. So that's why Hume, this Scottish philosopher, said, I have watched the sun rise every day. The day before yesterday, throughout my chapel. Tomorrow I'm waiting. Can I derive, Emily, the conclusion? Can I infer that the sun, with certainty, with necessity, will rise tomorrow? No, said Hume. Oh, I lose my sleep. What if I wake up and there's no sun rising? It's the end of the world. So inductive arguments don't have necessity. But let us move on, and you will see the examples of deductive arguments. Oh, I also have validity. Validity and validity are a little more terminology. Valid are those that...
I think
maybe I should go to the examples first.
Yeah.
Yes, let me go to the examples. Okay. All all Athenians are Greek, all Greeks are European, all Athenians are European. This means that the argument has a form, all A's are B's, all B's are C's, and I should draw a line here, blah, blah, dot, 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 so that you get the conclusion, or therefore, some people, you see 3 dots, 1, 2, 3, which means therefore, I'm sure that even a child, 10-year-old, I don't know what psychologists say, but if you give them that, naturally the child will get it right. Am I correct? But I don't know who, you have
Yes,
experimented
they
with
live in
children.
the world too, and they have minds that are, when they use the language, they have to be logical.
Yeah, okay, but you see, it's not easy. Some of it is easy, some of it is not easy at all.
It's not easy to talk about it, but it's easy to be.
Okay, okay. So look at this now. All horses are green, all green animals are plastic, all horses are plastic. What about this argument? What would you say? Is it a good argument? No. Why? But is it valid? Does it have a good
Who said no?
Yeah.
Yes, Emily, will you try to
Yeah.
tell us
What
why?
is wrong about it? Yeah.
Because it's not true, because I have seen horses that is not green.
Okay. Okay. I haven't seen any horses that are green.
No, me neither.
Yes. But you see, what I'm driving at is that you said it's not true. The word truth we use strictly. We speak if you want to speak correctly, strictly. You take the word truth not for the argument. You use the word for the proposition or the premise. So you say the premise, this premise is not true, is
The
false.
first statement, the two first statements is
Yes,
fundamental for the
false.
next one.
But the argument, you call it valid or invalid, okay, which means it has a good structure or it doesn't have a good structure. So this argument has a good structure.
Yeah.
It has a good structure. It's this structure. That's valid, okay? And what does this mean? It means that if the premises are true, then necessarily the conclusion will be true. In other words, it's a mechanism. It's like a mechanism. This is the mechanism. This is the mechanism here. If you have this mechanism and you put in good things there, which means true propositions, true statements, then you get this true also. That's what we want. We want valid arguments. We want arguments that have a good form. It's a matter of form or structure. But the argument, of course, this one is not good because it has good form, but the content is bad, is lousy. These are false. And when you put in a valid argument false, you don't know what you're going to get. Yes, please, you're going to ask something.
Oh yeah, no, it was like that. You answered my
Yeah,
question.
I answered. So we call an argument valid if it has a good form, and we call it sound if it has both a good form and a good content, okay? It is both valid, it has good structure, good skeleton. It has such a skeleton that leads you from the top to the bottom correctly. And if you put in true statements, you get truth. Okay. Yes, sir.
What sort of statement you can add on this argument? Or
You can add or you can...
yeah, I mean this hours are green, and blah blah. That is the whole argument for a statement like.
Well, these are the statements. You take one statement, two statements, and you try to see what you get. The point is the following. If you want to think correctly, okay, you want to think right, the first thing you must do is make sure you get the structure right, okay? You get the structure. But then, that's not enough, as Emily said. The argument is bad. Why is it bad? Because you have put in wrong, bad meat, bad stuff, and you got bad conclusion, and you don't know what you're going to get. The problem, the other problem is more tricky. What is the other problem? What if you don't have a good structure? You have a structure that is not good, you don't know it, and you are misled.
Yes,
Yes.
that's our trouble when we are writing logs. You have the conclusion, we call a thesis. And then you have, we say, arguments for the thesis. So these are the arguments, and this is the thesis. And if they are true, so then this must be true. You shall argue in this way.
Wait, the atheist.
All these are statements.
Yeah.
These are